Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the full card of fights for UFC 272 Covington versus Masvidal. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card. So in our first fight, we have in the light heavyweight division, Dustin Jacoby versus Miquel Olukchuk. And I see the one or Luxy but I see the one right here is I'm always gonna say it. Luckchuck is undersized for the weight class, but I guess he's underskilled for the smaller weight classes, and I guess he can't bother to cut weight. But the guy has no future here at this weight class. He's not gonna be no title challenger. At best, he's gonna be a low tier gate guardian. But yeah, one dimensional. Not saying he's a bad fighter, but he's one dimensional. I feel like Jacoby just all he presents is striking and aggression, and Jacoby it is gonna be too sharp for that. It's gonna be bigger than him, stronger than him, and more technical on the feet. I feel like Luckchuck gonna try to be aggressive, but Jacoby just gonna probably just evade a lot of shots and probably defend him pretty well. Then start cracking him back with his own shots and put him on the back foot pretty early in the fight instead of like he's the bigger man, the better man, the more technical striker as well. And then started really just bully him out there, batter his skinny legs, rip to his skinny, chubby body, bully him in the clinch, land short elbows, land knees, and it's really just break him down. I think he puts him out in the second round. So in this fight, I got Dustin Jacoby via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, Klein versus Devonte Smith. And now this one right here is Klein has definitely disappointed me. You can say the Smith has as well with I guess somebody lost. He got knocked out by Worthy, which is one of the biggest disappointments ever. And then the Malarkey fight, but Malarkey just very good. But Klein, I feel like more than anything, he's the bigger disappointment at this point to me because he got outboxed by Nate Landwehr. Got literally beat everywhere. Landwehr don't have zero striking defense whatsoever. And the man got neutralized, made Klein like a gold medalist boxer out there. That's very disgusting, very disappointing. Now he's coming in weight, trying to, I guess, change some things up. But ultimately, I feel like Devonte Smith is just better. I feel like Klein has a couple of little tools, really a bunch of catch you or limited kind of catch you by surprise type striking for the most part. Stiff little short jab. Like he got T-Rex arms, but got a little bit of pop behind it. Can sneak up that little high kick very well. But I feel like Smith's gonna keep him honest with takedown attempts. And I don't feel like Klein puts such a heavy pace or gonna be in your face like that. So I feel like Smith should be able to explode and, mixing his takedowns when needed. And ultimately, I just feel like Smith is just gonna be more well-rounded and be able to mix up more. Definitely the better wrestler between these two. And less predictable, I feel. So be able to touch him with the power, touch him with the wrestling, make him have to respond to that so he can't just throw those high kicks up there so willy-nilly. So starting with the takedowns, getting them, securing them, and probably even like having some good success on the ground. But ultimately, I feel like the Smith, like I said, is going to have the more tools, mix them up better. And I don't think he'll have too much issue, seeing the little bit of stuff that Klein does present on the feet. And like I said, being able to mixing the wrestling, touching with the power, I see him beating Klein to a decision. So in this one, I got Devonte Smith via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the flyweight division, Tim Elliott versus Taguire Ulanbekov. And how I see this one right here is Tim Elliott is Tim Elliott. He's gonna come out there wild and unorthodox and stuff like he does, which could be a good and a pro and a con for him, which I feel like the most likely gonna be a con for him in this fight. I feel like Tim Elliott gonna come out there and not have the greatest success with his wrestling. Then the feet, be weird angles and stuff. Like, be scoring with it, but not consistently. Ultimately, Taguire Ulanbekov gonna figure him out and it's gonna start picking him apart from range. Tim Elliott put himself in crossing his feet, getting him in opposition, and Taguire Ulanbekov making him pay for his sloppiness. And it's really just schooling him through 3 rounds to a decision. So in this one, I got Taguire Ulanbekov via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Brian Kelleher. And how I see this one right here is, as I said before, I feel like Umar Nurmagomedov is probably the most talented one, probably the most dangerous, most scariest guy out of that whole clan, pound for pound. Of Khabib, Makhachev, etc., the most scariest guy, pound for pound, out of that clan. The man's striking is more put together than I think all of theirs. Then he's much faster, much more of a finishing threat than all the other ones. So Umar Nurmagomedov is a beef. I said beef is a beast, not a beef, a beast. But going into with Brian Kelleher. Also, we see Brian Kelleher get ragdolled and manhandled by Ricky Simone. No diss to Ricky Simone, but he's definitely not on the level that these Dagestani fighters are on. So I feel like Umar Nurmagomedov is gonna go out there, just pick him apart in every single aspect of this fight. I feel like he taps him out, like, picks him apart in the first round, then puts him away in the second. So I feel like on the feet, he mixes up on the feet, lands touch him some good shots, then looks to drag to the mat, pound him up. Then the second round, rinse, repeat, touch him or fake, then blast through him, put him on the ground, maul him, transition, ground and pound, then tap him out in that second round. So in this fight, I got Umar Nurmagomedov via second round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's flyweight division, Marina Marina Morose versus Maria Agapova. And high seas fight right here between Morose versus Agapova. Hold up. I was trying to be so extra detailed with saying their names, but Morose versus Agapova, enough tongue tie. Let's just get to the point. I feel like Morose, she's solid, well-rounded, experienced veteran in the game. Only got 10-3, but I feel like she's been around the UFC for a long, long time. Only 10-3, but in the UFC since I feel like since 2014. I feel like maybe at least 2016, but she's been around only 10-3. But yeah, she fights like a veteran. Been around as long as enough to be called a veteran. I feel, but yeah, that's enough props for her. I don't feel like her offensive takedowns all that great. I feel like her striking can be a bit decent, but stiff and slow, very hittable. Head on a pole, there to be hit at all times. I feel like Maria Agapova should have no issues with her wrestling. I feel like, again, in this fight with Agapova, her biggest enemy will be herself. But in her last fight, she showed that she could stay calm and composed and fight a clean, clinical performance throughout. So I think she's gonna fight that way throughout the rest of her career. I feel like she kind of got away with that, being wild early on, but she learned a big lesson. And now she's like, yeah, I got all these skills. Why not use them? No need to go out there being wild and trying to do stuff. Let me go out there, fight to the best of my ability, and those wins will materialize. And I'm not gonna lose people I should not lose to. So yeah, going with Morose, I feel like Agapova was just a much sharper boxer, much sharper striker, much more fluid, much better defense, actual head movement. And again, I just feel like she'll be able to put up more volume, be in her face, be able to touch her up. Probably really could be able to get a finish in this one. But I'm gonna say decision. It's like women's MMA, and it's not necessarily like either are super, super great finishers at this level. So I'm gonna say decision with Agapova. She'll be able to touch Morose at will. And I feel like Monroe's gonna be able to have much back at her. She's gonna be tough, be durable. She's gonna give her some work, but it's gonna be all Agapova, I feel, and it's gonna be clear rounds throughout, probably 30-27, if not 30-26, 30-25. So in this fight, I got Maria Agapova via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the light heavyweight division, Murano versus Kennedy Chukwu. And high seas one right here. So Chukwu has the height, he has the reach. He's like 1 year younger. So he got 82.5-inch reach versus like a 73, 74-inch reach for Murano. We like 6'4" versus like a 6 feet Murano. So he got a huge height advantage, huge reach advantage. Not the greatest age advantage, but yeah. But all that being said, he has all that height and all that reach, but he doesn't necessarily know how to use it yet, or he doesn't have the ability. He don't have the power yet behind the shots, and he don't have the skills, the footwork, the feints, any of those things, the head movement with all that reach to maximize that reach. He don't have the dirty tactics. He don't have none of that stuff. He don't have the IQ of a tall man to the level that he needs it at. And I don't feel like neither are super great fighters at this given moment, but Nick Murano style will be aggressive and leans more towards aggression. And Chukwu ain't gonna be establishing that range and keep him at bay. Nick Murano just gonna walk him down, try to crowd a space and swing on him. And if Chukwu just covering up or just throwing limited power or throwing shots that Nick Murano could walk right through or don't have the respect, then that's all it's gonna be a case of Kenny Chukwu throwing a little bit of offense at the range, Nick Murano either blocking or just walking him down and swinging on him, and Kenny Chukwu just on the back foot. It's not like Nick Murano got necessarily a bad cardio, so Chukwu can't just wait on a third round rally or something. But hey, it's a possibility. He definitely done it before. But I just feel like it's gonna be a case where Nick Murano is gonna be in it. Also, I feel like Nick Murano would definitely be the one looking to mix it up more, and Chukwu just really prefers to strike. Hasn't seen much grappling from him. Seen pretty impressive takedown defense from him, but grappling offensively have not seen it. So I feel like Nick Murano, I don't feel like he'll have such a great success with his wrestling, but maybe get 1 or 2 takedowns, maybe one, but at least trying. Again, that's puts him in controlling position. He's working him, drawing volume up in his face, aggression, forward pressure, cage control, then going for takedowns. If you don't scare him, he's still controlling him against the cage. And that's what I see. Kenny Chukwu not having all the aesthetics, having the reach and having the teletape, reach and height and length and all this stuff, but not being able to do nothing with it. So a guy that's gonna walk you down, swing on you, look for takedowns, look to smother you against the cage and just smother that range, that reach you have, and just outwork you, outvalue you. Probably looking for the stoppage. I don't think he'll get it, but just simply outworking him, outpositioning him to a decision. So in this one, I got Nick Murano via decision. Now on to our next fight, we have in the women's strawweight division, Marina Rodriguez versus Zhao Nan Yan. And how I see one right here between Rodriguez versus Yan is I think Yeah, Yan's pretty talented. Rodriguez pretty talented. I like Rodriguez's height, her reach in this one, I like her volume and like her variety of tools. I feel like Yan would have the best chance to, if she really, really worked on her wrestling and grappling this fight to, use that as that little hidden tool or that little detour or whatever case I'm trying to say, like a little shortcut, maybe to cheat code CC or her little yeah, path to beating, the best little path to beating Rodriguez. But typically fighters don't evolve that much from fight to fight. So obviously this is a striking matchup. And I just see Yan coming with the power, but neither of these women are finishers. Rodriguez not really a heavy hitter. She's more of like a cutter. She throw a lot of shots, bust you up and make you bloody and chop you up, but not really the power to finish you, or I guess not the rate to finish you with the power she has. Yan has power, but not necessarily a finisher herself either. So like she does have power, but clearly not enough to finish her opponents, or doesn't put it together enough to finish opponents. So I see this as a decision. And I see Rodriguez just being the better in all the ranges. I see her winning from distance, and I see her winning on the inside. Has a good Muay Thai clinch on the inside, some good sharp elbows on the inside, good knees on the inside. I see Yan keeping it competitive, but I see Rodriguez, like I said, throwing up more volume, winning from the outside and winning on the inside. If Yan tries to rush on the inside, I see her getting met with knees, getting met with the Muay Thai clinch, met with elbows, getting bust up, then getting pushed right back to the outside. And that's why I seen the fight competitive, but pretty clear that Rodriguez will win. So in this one, I got Marina Rodriguez via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in our prelim headliner in the lightweight division, Jalen Turner versus Jamie Malarkey. And shouts out to Mama Turner supporting her son in my quick pick comment section. Yeah, shout out to her. And Jalen Turner is a very good pick. I would pick him. I was thinking about changing, like even prior to saying that, and I was really, really thinking about changing. But ultimately, I'm gonna stick to with my pick. Right or wrong, I'm gonna stick with Jamie Malarkey in this one. But yeah, Jalen Turner got a bright future ahead of him. If he can win this one, especially in a dominant fashion, or definitely in a highlight reel fashion, this would put him on a fast track, and he could, or at least put him on put him where he wants to be. Like he wants to fight for a title, he wants to win a title. And this fight could, I'm not saying this fight gonna get him no title shot, but it could put him into places where he's not too far away from a title shot. Or put him, fighting guys just outside the top 15, just outside the top 20, and then maybe a fight or two. Then he's fighting guys top 15. Then next thing top 10, top 5. But yeah, I feel like he got all the talent to be that. Probably got working with wrestling, which I've seen him doing on his Instagram. But got to test even more so than what I've seen on Instagram. He got to do a lot more than that. But right now for the level, he's doing the best he can. But definitely, as he gets to where he wants to get, got to up that like 10 times what he's doing. But yeah, shouts out to him. Shouts out to his mama. But I'm going with Malarkey in this one. I feel like Turner definitely more dangerous striker, but I feel like Malarkey is the more rounded threat. And also, I didn't really see Jalen Turner really, at least from the little Instagram clips which clearly aren't hours and hours and hours of actual training. It's just little clips you post for your Instagram. So obviously he working offensive, defense, this position, that position, and not just 30 seconds of this. But yeah, that's not the full tale of what he's been training. But anywho, yeah, doing the right work. But I feel like Malarkey just gonna be the more rounded threat. Yes, Turner, like somebody might say, oh, he's the better wrestler. He's the better wrestler. But who actually uses it? Malarkey does. Is he such a great wrestler? I'm not gonna say that, but he'll at least attempt to mix the takedowns. He'll look to be aggressive. Take away Turner's distance and get on the inside, work for takedowns. And I heard, again from his mama that he had a knee injury going into that fight, so wrestling probably gonna look a lot better. Definitely feel like he has a much higher ceiling than Malarkey. But yeah, again we go back to the prediction. I feel like Malarkey's going, not allow him to use that reach as much. Look to crowd of space, look to mix in takedowns, at least attempt takedowns, and stay in his face nonstop. That's what Malarkey does, whether it's wrestling or striking. He looks to stay, not give you no time to breathe, be up in your face. And Turner does not have no cardio issues, but so I see it being a very close fight. It's not going to dominate Turner. It's going to be a very close fight. Might even be a split decision, I feel. But Malarkey being the more active fighter, being the pressing fighter, being looking to be in his face. Both fighters having their moments. And Malarkey, ultimately being the edge, being the aggressive and with the activity with his wrestling as well. Might not score 5 shots, not be able to ride the position for like 2-3 minutes of a round, but maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Then that total up maybe like 3-4 minutes of the fight with him with like controlling position. And that being the deciding factor really. Output in position or some takedowns. And that's why I see edge in the fight for Malarkey. So in this fight, I got Jamie Malarkey via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in our first fight on the main card in the heavyweight division, Sergey Spivak versus Greg Hardy. And how I see fight right here between Spivak versus Hardy is Hardy definitely big, explosive, athletic, powerful, and all that. but clearly has no heart for MMA until proven otherwise. Whenever he gets put on the ground, instant quits. He friendly quits like on Madden or something. As soon as he gets to the ground, he hits the menu, scrolls to the bottom, friendly quit, or just X's, or he just pulls the plug on his console. The man does not want to grapple. Just like those little people that be so don't fit as soon as they get taken down on UFC. That's Greg Hardy in real. He is that in real life. That is him. He is that in real life. As soon as he goes to the ground, the man just quits, deactivates, pulls the plug. He don't want no parts of it. Striking wise, the striking ain't too great of a difference. If it was just a pure striking match, Greg Hardy probably win that, probably. But yeah, probably will win that. But ultimately, I feel this one, Spivak gonna be doing enough to keep the fight on feet. This guy survived. Really, his best bet to survive the first round, drag him to the mat in the second round, and tap him out. But I feel like he's gonna mix it up with him in the first round, then drag him to the mat, and then Hardy gonna insta quit or let's curl up. Spivak will land ground and pound. Fight gonna get stopped within the first round. So in this fight, I got Sergey Spivak via first round TKO. Now to our next fight we have in the welterweight division, Kevin Holland versus Alex Oliveira. And how I see this one right here is I just feel like Alex Oliveira just don't got it no more. He's not a threat he's definitely a big threat. He's a threat, but to the actual anybody of any relevance or anybody that's really on that path or still got some juice in them or some potential in them necessarily to really ascend to be something like champion, title challenger, something like that, or in the mix, high level gate guardian maybe. I don't know where I'm going. I'm kind of going downward now, but yeah, Alex Oliveira just don't got that dog in him. I don't see no more. He definitely got a lot of dog, much more dog than a lot of people, but not to the extent that he's not fighting like he's that man from the favelas. He's not fighting. Don't have that dog to really dig deep and win consistently. Like I don't feel like the desire is there as much, or I don't know, it's just something that's clearly not there. And he might not be like 36, 37 or nothing, but he's starting to look like he's 40, 42 out there. And they're looking lost. But this one, I feel like Kevin Holland is the crisper striker. Alex Oliveira, just like striking has always been awkward and odd, but effective and deadly. But I feel like Kevin Holland should be able to touch him up and use his length, use his reach, use his speed, cleaner, shorter shots, and catch him before he catch him with those wild looping shots. Definitely gotta respect the wildness of Oliveira. But no, let's keep peppering him up, keep tagging him. Not necessarily committing fully to your shots, but like just just keeping it on him, keep the volume on him, keep the shots on him. Let Alex Oliveira wind himself out. And it's constantly like, I don't know, maybe mixing takedown. I don't think he's really gonna mix and takedown. It's gonna be more so case Oliveira trying to swing big shots and try to muscle Kevin Holland around. Probably even have limited success with that early in the first round. But Kevin Holland, like, say, off his back, slapping him in the face, throwing some low elbows in there, then working back to standing. Oliveira, like, really thinking that is his path to victory, trying to, exert himself to get him to the ground. Probably try to land big shots. But again, Kevin Holland probably laughing the whole time. Oliveira just suspending himself. There may be a limited success with that in the second round. Again, Holland is laughing, slapping him in the face, elbowing him, and get back to his feet, touching him up on the feet as he gets tired, arms exhausted. Then third round is unleashing on him a tired Oliveira, just running into shots and running for takedowns, just like I said, looking labored and not lax, but labored and tired. And Kevin Holland still looking fresh and just unloading on him and puts him away in the third round. So in this fight, I got Kevin Holland via third round TKO. Now to our next fight we have in the featherweight division, Edson Barboza versus Bryce Mitchell. How I see this one right here is I'm going with Edson Barboza. I'm going with the dog here. I feel like Mitchell has not really fought the greatest competition, to be honest. I feel like Andre Philly is the best guy he fought by far. Other than that, he fought Charles Rosa, a guy who literally lets anybody with any bit of wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So far, he's done pretty well against wrestling guys. He got one submission over a pretty good Manny Bermudez, though he did have his toe in the cage. But yeah, but Charles Rosa limited his success, and if we have just by everybody with a little bit of decent understanding of wrestling and jiu-jitsu and some decent bit of skill, I know I'm underwriting him a huge bit, but at this level, that's what I'm talking about. Like he literally just won like a 3-5 losing streak. Everybody's taking him down and just land on him with relative ease to a decision over Charles Rosa, like Damon Jackson, this guy, that guy, a bunch of different people. So that ain't really a big win. And other than that, like who has he really beat? He beat a bunch of guys that kind of fall in that similar category. A bunch of guys that don't do well with heavy, grapplers with heavy top pressure. That's the last couple people he beat outside of Andre Philly. And the Andre Philly fight was a very close fight. But yeah, going to Edson Barboza, I feel like Barboza's takedown defense has held up pretty well. He went in with another good grappler who also has pretty good striking in Dan Eek. and has fought at a much higher level in Dan Ige, and I feel like he really won that one, but they just gave it to Dan Ige or Ige. But again, it could be another case, similar fight maybe playing out, and he gets robbed again on a split decision. But I'm going with Edson Barboza in this one. I think I'm going with third round stoppage. I feel like Mitchell doesn't really have the striking, still kind of wide and wingy, and then looking for takedowns. So wide, wingy, eyes wide open, then looking to go for takedowns. He clearly doesn't want to strike with no one too much, but hey, maybe he works heavily with a boxing coach or a striking coach, and then just adds that with his grappling already, touches Barboza a little bit on the feet, and then starts to score those takedowns. But I'm not really banking on that just yet. I'm just going to say striking still ain't going to be where it needs to be at. And Barboza going to be the sprawl heavy on the shots, blast his legs out of him, and then force him to strike for too long a periods and start to break him down, chop him down, chew his legs up, chew his body up, pop in the face with the jab, then put him away in third. So in this fight, I have Edson Barboza via third round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in our co-main event, in a catchweight bout at 160, Rafael Dos Anjos versus Renato Moicano. And how I see this fight right here between Dos Anjos versus Moicano is, first I thought it would be a competitive fight on paper or, leading up prediction-wise, but it turned out to be a pretty easy prediction for me. Whether, in hindsight, later on, it turns out to be the other way. It is what it is, but for me, it became pretty easy for me to predict this fight, and I'm going with Dos Anjos with confidence. I feel like it's not even I feel. Renato Moicano has never fought 5 rounds. Well, he has fought 5 rounds, but got sparked in under 2 minutes. Outside of that, only one 5 round, has only had one 5 round fight and got sparked in under 2 minutes. That was against Chan Sung Jung, Korean Zombie. Fought a lot of, high level fights, but definitely not to the level that Dos Anjos has fought for many years. Like Dos Anjos, former UFC lightweight champion, and really has been fighting 5 round fights back to back to back to back. So, been holding his own in these 5 round fights, not getting sparked in under 2 minutes. Then when I look at Moicano, the Hernandez fight, really watching it again, it was not all that impressive. Impressive win, good stoppage and all that stuff, good technique. But I still saw some of the same flaws. Still see a guy that can liable to get swarmed. See a guy that can't, really push and maintain a good pace, nor can he endure a good pace on him. I saw some, in the moment, he had his little moments in here there on the feet against Alexander Hernandez. It was never a case of sustained, real good output, but more so moments, little clean, little sharp moment, little clean, little slide counter, clean counter here, clean counter there, maybe 1 every 2 minutes or 1 every 3 minutes. It wasn't a clean, never really a clean sequence of a minute, 2 minutes of him just put on a good striking or 40, 50 seconds, maybe 10 seconds maximum. One punch, one combination, one counter. So it's not like a guy that consistently does good output on the feet. And the guys he has been beating, Hernandez, low level lightweight. Then what's his name? The British dude. Those typical British MMA guys don't really have the best wrestling, don't really have the best jiu-jitsu. So what he did took him down, submitted him. Yeah, so he hasn't really been fighting the level of competition that RDA has fought, and really pretty much tailor-made competition. So he's been looking good, but he's been fighting people tailor-made for him to beat. Now going to our Rafael Dos Anjos. Dos Anjos will put a pace on you. Can maintain that for 5 rounds. I feel like he's a better wrestler. Moicano's wrestling did not look that great against Hernandez. His shots look very awkward. I feel like Dos Anjos will be to stuff those and make him pay for those shots. Probably score his own takedowns. And not really worried about his jiu-jitsu, not worried about his wrestling. I feel like RDA is a better wrestler, better grappler out there, better striker. And also, most importantly, can push that pace on him. Also, experience. So I feel like once Moicano, first round, probably be a little bit of fill out round. But RDA later on in that round, gonna start to fill him out, touch him up, and put the volume on him, put the pressure on him, put some power on him, rip him heavy to the body, get him to drop his arm and start to swarm on him at points in that first round. But the first round really, again, gonna be a filling out round. Then the second round, gonna go back to the well, rip that body. And really, like I said, working him and ripping the body. So whether he's looking for takedowns to get positions or ripping the body and looking to close that gap, have Moicano working all the way throughout this. And Moicano coming on short notice. Yes, he fought in February, but the guy, no matter what thing is, he's not a guy that's really prepared, for a high-paced fight. He's not. So I just really see RDA putting it on him from the jump, and then after weathering him down in the first round, rinse repeat in the second round, have him a little bit more worn in that second round, rip him to the body, come up top, hurt him, follow him to the ground and pound, and put him out in that second round. So in this fight, I have Rafael Dos Anjos via second round TKO. Now to our main event, we have in the welterweight division, Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. The grudge match former best friends, former training partners, longtime training partners, longtime friends. And I see one, Jorge Masvidal is without doubt the better striker. Wrestling defense and is very underrated. Grappling defense is very, very underrated. Guy has always been an underrated guy, but I guess nowadays he's overrated because like he went from kind of definitely a journeyman, but a guy that's like has all the skills to be a champion, but I guess not the will to be champion. But now, because some highlight reels and some attention, yeah, people give him more props now because like now the money's on his side. People the knockout of Ben Askren got that mainstream attention, but yeah, so kind of reversed. But anywho, still deserves all the respect, Jorge Masvidal. But I feel like this is Colby Covington's fight. Colby Covington's gonna put up 1,000 strikes and go for all these takedowns. Gonna get a lot of those takedowns. Jorge Masvidal might defend pretty well, but Colby Covington's gonna be relentless. If Colby Covington might get in his feelings, try to strike with him, that could be an issue. But even then, I feel like Colby Covington not a guy that gets out of his element. He's gonna try to. Only people he might just end up in a striking matchup with are people that can match him in wrestling, like Kamaru Usman, maybe a Khamzat Chimaev or something, maybe Khabib or something. But Jorge Masvidal, just like he ragdolled him when they were sparring partners, he's gonna ragdoll him out here. Masvidal might worked on his wrestling defense, worked on that, but Colby Covington not gonna come out there. I started speaking country, but Colby Covington not gonna come out there and just put his chin on Masvidal's knee like Ben Askren did. I'll put his dome on Masvidal's knee. He don't come out there looking for a desperado takedown. He gonna come out there, fill him out, and fill out those takedowns and start to take Masvidal down. Like those combination up there, and probably throw some high kicks out to get Masvidal to bring his hands up. Maybe throw some punches behind that. Like just fill him out a little bit early, and then start looking for takedowns. And like I said, I feel like Jorge Masvidal will be able to defend takedowns pretty well, but it's not gonna be a case of just defending one takedown, just defending two takedowns, just defending three takedowns. Colby Covington is not gonna stop. The man has phenomenal cardio, crazy cardio, and he's gonna go for as many takedowns as he needs to. And eventually, Masvidal is gonna break down, and those takedowns are gonna start to materialize. Colby Covington is gonna simply drown him out there. Do I think it's a stoppage? Not really. Covington's not really a finisher, and Masvidal is a savvy veteran, hard to finish. So it's gonna be a decision victory. Colby Covington is grinding him out to a decision. Like I said, 1,000 shots thrown and like going for 20 plus takedowns and just grinding Masvidal to a decision. So in this one, I got Colby Covington via decision. And that concludes my fight predictions for the full card of fights for UFC 272, Covington versus Masvidal. And as always, thanks for watching.